Have you ever noticed how loud life has become? From the moment we wake up, there's a constant stream of notifications, background chatter, and new things to worry about. It's no wonder so many of us feel like we're running just to keep up, always one step behind. Maybe you've caught yourself wishing for just a moment of real peace, a chance to breathe, to escape all the noise and pressure, even for a little while. It's a common experience. We try to find peace in vacations, shopping, or maybe even binge watching a favorite show, hoping it'll make the stress fade away. Yet somehow, once these distractions pass, the pressure returns. I've felt this 2 times when I thought a weekend getaway would solve everything, but I came back just as anxious as before. But here's an idea that completely changed my perspective, and maybe it'll resonate with you too. Buddhist philosophy teaches that true, lasting peace isn't something we have to chase out in the world. It's not about controlling the noise or eliminating every stress. Instead, real calm is built from the inside out, no matter what's going on around us. Think about it. The outside world is always changing. Jobs come and go, relationships shift, plans fall through. We can't stop that. But what if you could learn to create an inner steadiness, a kind of calm that isn't shaken by whatever's happening out there? That's exactly what we're exploring in this video. I'm going to walk you through 10 powerful teachings inspired by Buddhism, each designed to help you develop inner strength, clarity, and peace, even when life feels overwhelming. We'll break down how these lessons can be practical and simple, sharing real-life stories to help you see how they might work for you. So let me ask you, when was the last time you really felt peaceful, right in the middle of chaos? If you're curious how to find that calm, again, not by escaping life, but by embracing it, you're in the right place. Let's begin this journey together. If any of these insights connect with you, or if you've struggled to find peace in the chaos, I'd love to hear your story in the comments below. And if you're ready for more practical wisdom on building inner calm, don't forget to subscribe. We're building a community here, one mindful step at a time. Teaching 1. Pause before you react. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you reacted instantly to something, a snappy comment, a negative email, maybe a harsh look from someone at work? If you're like most people, it probably happens more often than you'd like to admit. Life has a way of throwing challenges at us when we least expect it. Someone cuts you off in traffic, your spouse forgets something important, or your boss gives you unexpected criticism. In those moments, it's so easy to let emotions take over and react without thinking. But here's the truth. Between what happens to us and how we choose to respond, there's this tiny gap. And in that gap lies the real power we have over our own lives. This is an idea rooted deeply in Buddhist philosophy, the power of the pause. There's a saying I love: learn to stay calm when people praise or blame you. It reminds me that whether we're faced with praise or criticism, our greatest strength comes from responding thoughtfully, not impulsively. Imagine this. A friend gives you some negative feedback. Instead of instantly defending yourself or snapping back, you take a deep breath. You let the words settle for just a moment before you reply. That single pauseno, matter how small, can completely shift the energy of the conversation. It gives you a chance to choose patience, understanding, and even kindness, rather than regret later on. In my own life, I've noticed how much better my relationships are when I take this pause. It's not always easy. Sometimes my first instinct is still to lash out or withdraw. But when I practice waiting, even just for a heartbeat, I find that I'm calmer, and I don't carry the weight of saying something I'll regret later. Think of building this habit like stacking bricks to make a strong wall. Every time you pause before reacting, you add another brick to the foundation of your emotional strength. Over time, it gets easier, and your sense of inner peace grows when life gets loud or messy. So I invite you to try this. Next time you feel a strong emotion bubbling up, give yourself permission to pause. You might be surprised by the power you uncover in those silent moments. If you've ever tried this power of the pause, or if you struggle with it, Share your experience in the comments. What difference did it make her? What's the hardest teaching for you? We're here to learn from each other, one mindful pause at a time. Teaching 2. Accept change. Have you ever found yourself wishing things could just stay the same for a little while? Maybe you've held on to a good happy relationship, a steady job, a feeling of safety hoping that it would last forever. But life, as we all come to realize, is in a constant state of motion. It doesn't matter where you are or what you do. Change is unavoidable. It's woven right into the fabric of being human. Now, this can feel unsettling, right? I know it has for me. Recently, a good friend of mine, let's call him Daniel, went through a rough patch. After years of dedication, he suddenly lost his job. In those first few days, all he could see was loss, the end of his career, uncertainty about the future, and the fear of starting over. Everything safe and familiar just slipped away. But something interesting happened. As weeks turned into months, Daniel was forced to step out of his comfort zone. He started volunteering, reconnected with people he hadn't seen in years, and eventually discovered a passion he never realized he had working with kids. Today, he'll tell you that losing his job was the best thing that ever happened to him, even if it didn't feel that way at the time. The truth is, everything in life, pain, happiness, jobs, relationships, they're all temporary. Buddhist philosophy speaks clearly on this. Impermanence is the nature of the world. When you really let that sink in, you start to see change not just as an enemy or a threat, but as a natural teaching of life. And I get it, letting go is hard. We want to cling to what's good, avoid what's painful, and control what's coming next. But here's another way to look at it. If everything is temporary, then the hardest days won't last forever, but neither will the best ones. There's freedom in accepting that. It allows us to savor the good moments without the anxiety of holding on too tight, and to survive the bad ones knowing that too will pass. So, next time change shows up uninvited at your doorstep, try to meet it with curiosity instead of resistance. Ask yourself, what might this new chapter bring? Remember, sometimes an ending is just the beginning in disguise. Have you experienced a big change that ended up shaping your life in a surprising way? I'd love to hear your story in the comments. And if this perspective on change resonates with you, make sure to subscribe for more inspiring Buddhist wisdom. Let's navigate life's ups and downs together. Teaching 3. Let go of craving. Have you ever noticed how easy it is to always want something more? Maybe you're hoping for a promotion at work, a newer car, a bigger house, or even just more recognition from others. It sounds innocent enough. We all have dreams and ambitions. But if you're constantly reaching for the next thing, you might find yourself feeling restless, unsatisfied, or even disappointed, no matter what you achieve. This restless craving is something Buddhist philosophy calls out as the root of suffering. The desire for more, whether it's success, material things, or even praise, can tie us into knots on the inside. Imagine John, for example. He'd spent years working hard, doing everything right, just waiting for that long-awaited promotion. When it went to someone else, he didn't just feel let down. He felt crushed, like all his effort counted for nothing. Maybe you felt that sting, that deep sense of disappointment, when reality simply doesn't match what you pictured. But here's the thing. John's suffering didn't actually come from missing out on the promotion itself. It came from the craving, the attachment to the idea that he needed that new title to be happy or fulfilled. When John finally realized this, he learned something profound. By letting go of the craving, by accepting things as they were, he started to feel lighter and more at peace. He still worked hard, but the pressure eased. He even discovered new aspects of his job and life that he'd overlooked before, all because he wasn't obsessed with a specific outcome. I found this lesson comes up over and over again, not just in big life moments, but in everyday situations. Think about the last time you felt anxious because things weren't going your way. What were you craving at that moment? Control, recognition, maybe just a sense that everything was okay. What if, just for a moment, You released your grip on that desire and just allowed things to unfold. Letting go of craving isn't about giving up on your goals. It's about enjoying the journey, finding contentment with where you are right now, and making space for peace in your everyday life. It's a skill worth practicing, one small step at a time. Have you ever noticed craving causing tension in your own life? Share your experience in the comments below. Let's learn from each other. And if you're interested in more wisdom like this, don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode on finding real peace from within. Teaching 4. Live in the present. Let me ask you, how often do you catch yourself replaying the past or worrying about something that hasn't even happened yet? If you're anything like me, it's probably more often than you'd like to admit. The truth is, our minds have a habit of dragging us away from the present moment. We get caught up reliving old mistakes or anticipating every possible problem. And in doing so, we often miss out on the only time life truly happens, right now. Buddhist wisdom tells us that peace isn't found in regret about yesterday or anxiety about tomorrow. It can only be found in the present. That's what mindfulness is all about. It's not some abstract idea or complicated ritual. It's simply the act of bringing your attention back to what you're experiencing now, over and over again, whenever you notice your mind drifting. Let me give you a simple example. I know a guy named John who recently had one of those never-ending, stressful days at work. Instead of going over all the things that frustrated him or replaying what he could have said differently to his boss, he made a different choice. He went for a walk through his neighborhood, paying close attention to the sound of the wind in the trees, the feeling of his feet on the ground, and each breath as it came and went. For the first time all day, he felt his mind begin to settle. That's the power of mindfulness in action. I won't pretend that staying present is always easy. Life is busy. Our minds are wired to jump into the past and leap into the future. But the good news? Mindfulness can be practiced in small ways every single day. You don't need to meditate for hours or retreat to a mountaintop. Start by noticing your breath when you make your morning coffee or the sensation of water on your hands when you wash them. Every time you return your attention to the now, even for a few seconds, you're strengthening your ability to find calm no matter what's going on around you. So, the next time your mind starts racing, take a pause and ask, what's happening right here, right now? That moment of awareness is where peace lives. Have you tried mindfulness in your daily life? What makes it challenging, and when have you noticed it helping? Drop your thoughts and stories in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. And if you found this reminder helpful, consider subscribing for more real-world ways to build calm and clarity, one mindful moment at a time. Teaching 5. Love without clinging. Have you ever held on to something or someone so tightly it actually started to hurt? Maybe it was a relationship, a career path, or even just the idea of how your life should unfold. We all want a sense of certainty and comfort, but sometimes trying to control or cling to things, especially people or outcomes, brings us more pain than peace. This is where Buddhist wisdom invites us to shift our perspective by practicing non-attachment. To be clear, non-attachment doesn't mean not caring. It doesn't mean giving up or becoming distant. Instead, it's about loving and experiencing life with an open hand rather than a clenched fist. Let me share a story that might sound familiar. There's a guy named David. He deeply loved someone, and when the relationship ended, it felt like his whole world collapsed. He replayed every moment, wondering what he could have done differently, and for a long time, he couldn't move on. The more he tried to hold on to the past, the heavier it became. But slowly, David began to release a knot by forgetting or refusing to love, but by accepting change and letting go with kindness, both to himself and his former teacher. As he loosened his grip, something unexpected happened. He stopped hurting as much. Space opened up for healing, for growth, and for genuine appreciation of the time they shared. By letting go, he didn't lose love. He opened himself up to a deeper kind of freedom. Non-attachment asks us to hold our relationships, our achievements, our dreams, with gentle respect and gratitude, but without fear of loss. When we do this, we discover that love can thrive when it's not tangled up with need or control. Freedom and true connection can coexist. Just imagine how your life might feel if you could celebrate what's here without being driven by anxiety over what could disappear tomorrow. So take a look at your own life for a moment. Is there anything you're clinging to, an old story, a person, or an expectation that's actually keeping you stuck? What would it feel like to let go just a little and trust that you'll be okay, come what may? Have you ever experienced peace by letting go of someone or something? I'd love to hear about your journey. Share your thoughts or stories in the comments below. And if you want more insights into building healthy, loving connections with yourself and others, don't forget to subscribe for future videos on mindful living. Teaching 6. Retreat into stillness. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you truly sat in silence? Not just the absence of noise, but that deep, undisturbed quiet where you can actually hear your own thoughts? In today's world, we're constantly surrounded by sound. Phones buzzing, television in the background, notifications pinging, conversations overlapping. Even when we're supposedly relaxing, there's a hum of activity that never really stops. And over time, all that noise starts to drown out not just the world around us, but our own inner voice. I want to share the story of Samuel, a friend of mine who, maybe like you, found himself caught up in the whirlwind of work and daily responsibilities. The stress piled up, and the pressure to keep performing left him feeling exhausted and overwhelmed. He tried all sorts of quick fixes, more coffee, late-night streaming, even a couple of weekend getaways. But nothing truly helped him recharge. Then, almost accidentally, Samuel stumbled on something simple yet life-changing: silence. One morning, instead of reaching for his phone, he just sat quietly by his window, watching the world wake up outside. At first, it was uncomfortable. His mind raced, craving distraction. But slowly, a sense of peace washed in. For maybe the first time in years, he felt his shoulders drop, his thoughts slow, and a kind of calm that went deeper than any nap or vacation could provide. You see, silence doesn't mean emptiness or boredom. In fact, it's in those quiet moments that we finally make space to connect with ourselves. Silence is where we notice what our hearts are really telling us, and where for just a few minutes we can let go of all the demands and expectations of the day. It's a chance to breathe, to listen, and to recharge from the inside out. I'm curious, have you given yourself the gift of silence lately? Even a few minutes a day, sitting quietly with your thoughts or soaking in a peaceful sunrise, can be deeply healing. So, next time life feels too loud or overwhelming, try stepping away from the noise and into stillness. You might discover a source of calm and clarity you didn't even know was missing. Have you found peace or insight through moments of silence? How do you make space for quiet in your routine? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear what works for you. And if you'd like more tips on building inner peace, don't forget to subscribe and join our community for mindful living. Teaching 7. Release the ego. Have you ever caught yourself getting into a pointless argument, maybe with a family member, friend, or even a stranger, just because you wanted to be right? Or maybe you felt that urge to have the last word, or refused to back down even when it made things tense. If so, you're not alone. We all have an ego. It's that little voice inside that wants to win, to feel important, to stay in control. The trouble is, when we let our ego run the show, it often creates more stress, disconnection, and downright unhappiness in our lives. Buddhist wisdom puts it simply: the ego thrives on being right and avoiding vulnerability. It convinces us that we have something to lose if we let go of control. But in reality, clinging to our egos makes relationships strained and keeps us from experiencing true connection with others and ourselves. Take Olivia, for example. For years, she found herself locked in small disagreements with her family, always jumping in to correct, debate, or prove her point. There were times when even family dinners felt exhausting, with tension hanging in the air. But then, she tried something different. She stopped fighting for the last word and started listening instead. She let go of being right, just for a moment. To her surprise, conversations became lighter, laughter came more easily, and suddenly, her relationships felt warmer. I've noticed the same thing in my own life. When I stop defending my opinions and actually listen, it's like a weight lifts off my shoulders. Instead of needing to win, I find space for understanding, empathy, and even growth. Releasing the ego doesn't mean letting people walk all over you, but it does mean choosing peace over power and connection over competition. So, here's something to reflect on. Are there situations in your life where your ego is holding you back, maybe making things harder than they need to be? What could shift if you allowed yourself to listen or acknowledged you didn't have to be right all the time? Letting go of the ego is a lifelong practice, but every step makes life a little lighter and your relationships much richer. How has letting go of your ego changed your life? Have you found more peace or connection as a result? I'd love to hear your experiences in the comments below. And if you're interested in more mindful ways to build inner peace and authentic relationships, be sure to subscribe and join our growing community. Teaching 8. Flow with life. Let me ask you this. How often do you find yourself fighting against reality? Maybe it's a sudden shift at work, a change in your health, or a relationship that didn't go as planned. If you're like most people, your first instinct might be to resist, to try and control the outcome, or to replay scenarios in your head wishing things were different. But here's the truth. Life is full of twists and turns, and there will always be things outside our control. Buddhist wisdom teaches us the power of acceptance as a form of surrender, but as a way to shift our energy toward what we can actually influence in our lives. I recently heard about Mia, who worked at a company for years and built close relationships with her coworkers. Suddenly, the company went through major layoffs, and several of her closest friends were let go. Mia was crushed. She worried, felt anxious, and wanted desperately to turn back the clock or fix the situation. But after a while, she realized that no amount of stress or worry could bring her friends back or change the decision that had already been made. Once Mia truly accepted what had happened, something powerful took place. Instead of spending all her energy resisting reality, she was able to refocus on what mattered: supporting herself, showing compassion to her friends, and making the most of each day at work. She found new ways to grow and even formed new connections she never expected. That's the heart of acceptance. It's not about giving up or pretending everything is fine. It's about acknowledging, this is my situation right now, and asking, what can I actually control? Where can I invest my time and energy to bring about positive change? Acceptance, in this way, isn't passive. It's a dynamic choice. It frees us from constant struggle and opens the door to resilience, growth, and peace of mind. So, is there something in your life right now that you're struggling to control or change? What might happen if you allowed yourself to accept it just for a moment and redirect your energy into what you can influence? Have you found strength or clarity by accepting the things you can't change? Tell us your story in the comments below. We're all here to support each other. And if these messages resonate with you, make sure to subscribe for more mindful lessons about flowing with life's changes and building inner peace. Teaching 9. Lead with compassion. Let's be honest, it's all too easy to judge others. Maybe someone cuts us off in traffic, or we deal with a clerk having a bad day at the grocery store. Our first reaction is often irritation or criticism. Why are they acting like that? What's wrong with them? But here's what Buddhist wisdom invites us to consider. Every time we judge, especially over little things, we actually create more stress and tension inside ourselves. Holding on to judgment is like carrying around a heavy bag of stones. It doesn't just affect the person we're judging, it weighs us down too. It creates a wall between us and the world and becomes a barrier to real connection and peace. Kindness, on the other hand, acts like a gentle breeze. dissolving tension and opening the door to understanding both for ourselves and those around us. Let me share a quick story. Emma, a friend of mine, recently stopped at a bakery after a long, tough day. There, the cashier seemed impatient and even snapped at her. Emma's first instinct was to snap back or walk away frustrated. But instead, she paused, took a breath, and said with genuine warmth, "Hey, I hope your day gets better." Instantly, the cashier's demeanor changed, her eyes softened, and by the end of the transaction, she even managed a small smile and a thank you. That's the power of compassion. By responding with kindness instead of judgment, Emma not only shifted the energy of that moment, but also avoided carrying anger with her throughout the rest of her day. Kindness isn't always about grand gestures. Sometimes it's in small, conscious choices, a smile, a patient word, or simply listening without making assumptions. Think about this in your own life. Where might you choose compassion over quick judgment? Maybe with a difficult coworker, a frustrated family member, or even a stranger who seems rude or distracted. Often, we have no idea what battles others are facing. Choosing kindness doesn't mean letting people walk all over you. It means understanding that compassion can transform not only their experience, but yours, too. Have you ever softened a tense interaction with kindness? Or do you struggle with judging others too quickly? Share your stories in the comments below. I'd love for us to learn from each other. And if you want more heart-centered wisdom like this, remember to subscribe and join our growing community for mindful living. Teaching 10. Be grateful. You see, gratitude is more than just saying, "Thank you." It's a way of shifting your attention, even for a moment, from what's lacking to what's present. And studies have shown that regularly practicing gratitude can reduce stress, improve sleep, and even make you more resilient when life gets tough. Take the example of Leo, who was going through a rough patch at work and at home. He felt like he was always chasing something: approval, success, happiness. Then he started a little experiment. Each morning, he wrote down 3 things he was grateful for. Sometimes it was something as simple as a hot cup of coffee, a funny text from a friend, or the birds singing outside his window. Within weeks, he noticed a real change. The same everyday challenges were there, but they didn't weigh on him as heavily. Gratitude helped him find calm in the chaos. It's not magic, it's a shift in perspective. When you start to recognize what's good and working in your life, it softens that endless striving for more. Gratitude pulls you out of your head and anchors you in the present moment, making contentment possible even when life is far from perfect. Think about this for yourself. What are 3 small things you could be grateful for today? Maybe it's the smile of a loved one, a meal you enjoy, or simply the fact that you're here right now with another chance to begin again. Have you tried keeping a gratitude journal or making a daily gratitude list? If so, how did it change your outlook? Share your favorite gratitude practice or story in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. And if you want more simple ways to cultivate peace of mind and live with intention, don't forget to subscribe and join us on this mindful journey. Conclusion. As we wrap up, let's take a moment to reflect on everything we've explored together. These Buddhist teachings aren't just abstract concepts or nice words to remember, they're living practices. When you put even one of them into action, you begin to build real, lasting inner peace, brick by brick. Think of it like a calm lake on a stormy day, or a mountain that stands firm no matter how strong the winds blow. That kind of steadiness isn't an accident, it's something we can nurture, day by day, breath by breath. And here's a question worth considering. What if the peace you're searching for out there through busyness, scrolling, or seeking validation has always been waiting for you on the inside? It's a powerful shift to realize that you already have this potential within you. You don't have to be someone else or change your entire life to experience it. You just need to come home to yourself again and again. I know it's not always easy. Life gets messy, chaotic, and unpredictable. But the more you return to these practices, even imperfectly, the more natural it becomes to find your center. Over time, you'll notice that you're calmer during life's challenges and more joyful in the ordinary moments. If this message resonates with you, I hope you know you're not alone on this journey. I invite you to subscribe for more practical wisdom and to share your thoughts or experiences in the comments below. Together, let's keep growing peace one breath, one step, one mindful moment at a time.